Thanks for joining us for Hep C TV, your regular news bulletin brought to you by hepatitiscnews.com. My name's Neil and I'm part of the Hep C TV team. In this bulletin, we'll be taking a closer look at two studies testing new treatments for Hep C, finding out if drinking coffee could be good for your liver, and hearing from consultant hepatologist Matt Foxton discussing the myths around the condition. It's an interesting time for research into new treatments for Hep C. Two studies published within a few weeks of each other have shown positive results using combinations of drugs to treat the virus. Research in the Journal of the American Medical Association suggests that Gilead Sciences drug sofosbuvir cleared the virus in 70% of patients with the genotype 1 variant of Hep C when administered with another drug, ribavirin. A second study in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that two new drugs from Boehringer Ingelheim, faldaprevir and deliobivir, when given with ribavirin, were successful in clearing the virus from over half of test subjects. The interesting thing about both the Gilead and Boehringer trials is that neither used interferon, a standard treatment for Hep C, but one which commonly has unpleasant side effects. Positive news for the future. In good news for caffeine lovers and baristas, research from Singapore has shown that drinking 4 cups of coffee a day could reduce the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This follows a study earlier this year showing that coffee consumption is also associated with reducing the risk of a liver disease called primary sclerosing cholangitis. And finally, our resident expert Dr. Matthew Foxton, hepatologist at London's Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, answers this month's question. What are the biggest myths around hepatitis C?
There are lots of myths about hepatitis C, commonly about the transmission, and in particular that it is always a sexually transmitted disease, and it's quite clear that that is not the case. Other concerns are that it can be transmitted from kissing or hugging or close personal contact, and that also is not the case. There are also myths about the treatment and investigation of hepatitis C. Most people currently do not need to have a liver biopsy, which is where we take a small piece of tissue, liver tissue, and that is not commonly required to either access treatment or as a requirement for treatment. And I think it's important for people to realise that there are good treatments available. That may not always suit everybody, but a large proportion of people can be treated successfully with the disease.
That's it for now. We'll be back with more next month. In the meantime, don't forget to visit our website, hepatitiscnews.com, for everything you need to know about Hep C from around the world.